What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with TECK Solutions. Thank you guys again for joining us for another helpful video. This video, it's one that I've been doing for the past 2 months, and it's stocks that I talk about that I'm going to be looking at investing in for this upcoming month. I want to remind you guys that just because I'm seeing value in these series of stocks, in no way does that mean that you guys actually have to trade any of these stocks. This is just my opinion, and when it comes down to being a successful day trader, especially within our group of TECK Solutions, we have 3 rules, and we never invest based on anyone else's opinion. We only invest in what we understand, and then we always have a plan when investing. So understanding the risks that are involved, understanding where's a good buy, where's a good sell, and then where you should cut your losses. If you guys learned anything from this video, I'm going to be breaking this specific video down, and you're going to see that a lot of my actual breakdowns on these stocks are more of a technical side. It's not a lot of momentum trades that I'm going to be taking positions on. If you guys want to follow a momentum trader, he's actually a team leader within our group of TECK Solutions, and his name is Connor. Brad is our OTC stock group leader. Kyle is our mobile investments group leader. And I do want to let you guys know that we do have one other individual that is going to be officially joining us within the group. His name is Vin, and he's going to be the cryptocurrency leader. So he's one that I'm going to introduce you guys into in the next couple of days. But I'm sure if you guys are a part of the TECK Solutions Facebook group, that you guys have seen his videos there, and a lot of you guys find his video very informative and very helpful because of his success in cryptocurrencies. So it's a true blessing to have him as a part of the team. If you're not a part of the team already, the link is down in the description. You can join over 42,000 members worldwide as we trade the stock market and talk about multiple different markets that we excel in. If you guys don't know anything about me, I invest, I'm mainly known as a day trader when it comes down to, investing in the stock market, but I also am a real estate investor. I have a series of ventures that I personally invest in, as well as I'm a full-time student and I have a normal job. So I talk about that in a number of videos that, you guys can find within my YouTube channel. I would, love to have you guys as a part of our family and, be subscribed. But again, when it comes down to investing in anything, especially your time, which is one of the most valuable assets that I think, people don't really appreciate, is that's all I ask. If you guys see value in my stuff, in my videos and the content that I create, then I would really appreciate you guys to invest that time in the videos that you guys see value in. So what's up, Kettle? If you guys are a part of the Discord group chat within TECK Solutions, you guys can actually check out Kettle Cooked and Dimitri. They're one of our group leaders that make it possible for our TECK Solutions group chat to be run so smoothly. So if you ever see Kettle Cooked or Dimitri or any of the mods or admins within the TECK Solutions Discord group, again, we're doing this all for free, guys. So if you guys could just give them a huge thank you for everything that they do, again, because their time is very valuable and they're definitely guiding us in the right direction. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to start breaking down a series of stocks. So let's Oh, I like that. Lillian Garcia, man, she's one that's very active within our group. She says, learn to apply these these 3 steps into your life, and you will go very far. So the 3 rules of understanding of what you're investing in, managing your risk, and always having a plan. And it definitely is a concept that can be just taken into multiple different markets, and that actually assists me in my success with the multiple investment properties that I have, the series of business that I've created, and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and get started. I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. I'm going to be going down the list, and again, this is like a raw breakdown of how I really break down stocks and identify potential. So it's not going to be the most time efficient video. It should be anywhere around from 30 minutes. So hopefully you guys have the time to join us. This video will re-upload. So if you guys did not join us live, no worries, you guys can catch it later. So let's go from there and let's get started. So I'm going to go from top to bottom. It's going based on volume. So if you guys could see right here, volume from top to bottom. I'm using the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. This is a free platform that you have access to. I have made a video on how you guys can download this. So please, before answering or asking any frequently asked questions, just simply Google it or search it on the YouTube search bar with my name. And I'm sure I've made a video of it since I have over 450 videos on YouTube. So we'd appreciate that. But most importantly, if you have any questions, feel more than welcome to reach out to us. So this is my watch list. I can go from top to bottom, but I'm going to start breaking it down and just really start doing an analysis. So I'm going to be looking at a 20-day analysis and then looking at kind of where it stands and to see if it's going to be a good swing trade or good day trade and stuff like that. So just like I called out in today's live stream, I said that AMD is more on the oversold side. Overbought side. I called out that the resistance at 1350 is too strong, as well as the resistance at $13. Well, Ricky, why would you say that, right? Based on previous trends. Again, I just look back. I look where it usually peaks out at. $13.50, $13. It hit $13.50. It tried to go above $13 today, and it experienced the pullback. Again, it's more on the overbought side. So what I'm going to do, what is it that I'm going to do? I'm going to simply set my alert, and I'm going to be patient. I'm going to make sure that I buy closer to the known supports. So it's very simple. Again, it doesn't get much easier than this. So what I'm going to do is, because I know that we're more at the resistance right now, it's not the best buy, right? Therefore, I'm going to be a little bit patient and wait for it to get anywhere from commonly bounced areas. So that's 1160, if you guys can see right here. But $12 is a very common support. It's bounce here once, hit a resistance at 1270, bounce here again, and then hit highs of 1350. So again, a common support. $12. Does that mean 100% that it's going to bounce at $12? No. Well, it went below $12 and it hit 1161 about maybe, what is that, 17 days ago, 16 days ago. So it's not 100% that it's going to bounce there. So what's my plan? So I know that there's more potential for profit down here, right? Because of a known bounce, a known support within the $12 price point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set my alerts so I'm kept up to date on the decrease or as the price drops for AMD. Very simple. If you guys don't know what AMD is, and I'm not going to go into the whole fundamentals of this just because AMD is such a common stock that we trade, but it's a company that's partnered with Apple, especially because this month is the month that Apple's going to be launching their new iPhone. It would be very interesting to see the fluctuation in prices and how it reacts to the just increase of volume and exposure people will be exposed to by knowing that AMD is partnered with Apple and that very simple understanding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my alerts. It's not at my buy point. I'm going to simply stay up to date on where it is. I'm also going to put an alert if it makes new highs. All of a sudden, if it breaks and makes new highs, I want to be kept up to date. So again, simply I'm going to right click and set an alert. I have an alert if it breaks new highs based on the 20-day analysis, as well as I'm going to have alerts as it continues to fall in price to a more a more realistic buy area. Does it mean that right as it hits $12, I'm going to buy? No. Like you guys know, I'm a very conservative trader and I like to really manage my risk. Although I validate $12 as a support, something that I like to wait for is the bounce. Therefore, as you guys can see right here, when it bounced at 1161, that means nothing to me. When it broke above 1180, that meant much more because it bounced at 1160 and it went above 1180, which was a resistance. If you guys could see during pre-market hours, it broke below 1160. There was the previous support that it had here during pre-market hours or after market hours at 1180. And once it broke above that, it started showing signs of upward momentum. Therefore, it gave me a better understanding that it bounced, it validated the support, and it's starting to trend back up. Again, I want to invest in something that's appreciating in value, not depreciating. So I don't care if it's if it's making new lows or anything like that. I want to buy it at the bounce. That's what I look for. So again, I've identified this margin for profit. So from anywhere, I'm just going to call it from on average $12 to $13, right? That's the support and resistance. It's about 8% potential. Again, that's huge. How long does it usually take for it to make this 8%? So right here, it was at $12. It took 1, 2, 3 full days. So 3 full days, and then when it actually bounced and started trending up, this is the right here. Let's do this one. 1, 2. And then the third day ended up hitting $13. So 3 days is on average when it starts to trend up, when it validates the support and starts to trend up, not when it's trending down, but when it validates the support and starts to trend up and break above the EMA line, that's when I would consider buying AMD. So I've identified the low points and the high points within the past 20 days. I've identified the support, the resistance, and I understand the risks that are involved. I'm calling out $12 to be the overall support. So I'm going to wait for the validation and wait for the break of the EMA line. Usually when it breaks above EMA, if you guys can see here, it's anywhere from around 1210 to 1220. Therefore, if I buy in, again, understanding that $12 is the support. If I buy in at 1210, I usually keep my stop loss at about 1%. So I'll end up having to cut my losses. Perfect. I'm right below the support at $12. So $11.98. So my potential for profit is from $12 to $13 is about 8%. When my potential for loss from 1210, if that's where it breaks above EMA, to let's say $11.99, that's 1% potential for loss. So if I'm risking $4,000, that means I'm going to lose $40 in comparison of being able to make 8%. So again, my potential for profit is much greater than my potential for loss, and it's worth the investment for me. Doesn't mean that it has to be worth the investment for you. That's how I break down the stocks. Again, I'm going to be kept up to date on when it's at its more or at a better buy point, But I really do think AMD is going to be a stock that's going to be doing very well this month because of the breakdown and the exposure that it's going to, the catalyst that the iPhone 8 is going to have on it. So DCTH, a member within our Discord group chat asked me to break this one down very quickly. And what it came down to was this is one that gets manipulated very often. It's not one that I see value in or really ever really wants to trade. But it comes down to the understanding that it does offer potential when it trends up. Right now it's on a downward trend. So I do have my alert set when it starts trending up, just so I can keep the group up to date. But other than that, I do know that it has a common support or a previous support at 10 cents. It doesn't mean that it's going to bounce at 10 cents. But what it comes down to is I don't like trading stocks that are less than $1 because it's more difficult for me to manage my risk. And that's one of the most important things for me. So let's go ahead and go from there. So AKS. AKS has been trending up, and again, this is just a stock that's in my watch list. It was one that was brought up to my attention because of a member within our group after it made new highs and when it broke above 560. That's actually when we called it out from our live stream. I'm going to go a little bit further back and do a 180-day analysis, and it makes sense. So if you guys could see right here, right now where it's hitting, we called out the previous resistance at $6. Why is it that I called it out? Do you guys see what it is that I see? $6 is a previous support, which means it becomes a new resistance. So it looks like it has a support and resistance every $1. And this is for a multiple day swing trade. So again, I'm going back pretty far. It was on a downward trend. And then it has these margins for profit as it increases and decreases. It has this margin of profit, if you guys could see, from a bounce of $5 to a resistance at $6. But based on previous trends, it usually bounces or has this margin of profit from $6 to $7. And I think one of our members in our group today, in our voice chat from the Discord group chat, said it perfectly. We're trading BW, and I did a decent day trade. It was 2.5%, and again, profit is profit. And he was like, lock in profits because you can sell now and you can buy later. So that's one of the most important things. Like people might be saying, well, if it has the potential to continue trending up from $6 to $7, then why not just hold? Because you have identified this margin of profit from $5 to $6. And you don't know 100% if it's going to break above $6. It could hit $6 and then trend back down, and you're going to wish that you would have sold. But something that you can do is you can sell when it gets to or near to the resistance at $6. And if it continues to trend back up and it starts making its way to $7, then you can simply buy back in and then sell at the resistance. But you can't simply buy back in or sell at $6 if it's trending back down again. So again, a trend that I see, and I don't know if you guys see it, is from $6 to $7 and then from $5 to $6. So again, old supports become new resistance levels, but then when it breaks above the resistance, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my alert here. When it breaks the resistance, then I'll have a better understanding that it's trending up and that, we can be seeing that, we can be seeing that margin from $6 to $7. And it's definitely showing signs of upward momentum. It's holding above the EMA line, so that's good. The VWAP isn't very useful when it comes to swing trades. It's more of a study that I use for day trades, but that's really just it. So I definitely think that this one has potential if it breaks above $6. And if it doesn't, I'm going to set my alert. I already have my alert set down here. If it trends back down, then again, it has a good buy point here at $5 as long as it validates the support. So I'm just going to set my alerts and keep you guys up to date on this one. So let me go ahead and see if we have any questions so far. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. So you guys are recommending a couple stocks. So I'll be sure to go through in the Discord group chat from the couple stocks that you guys are recommending. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. You talk so fast. I'm sorry, dude. I really don't hear it all the time, but it sounds like I'm speaking normal. Now I'm going to really try to slow it down. But right now I'm just going to keep it to the stocks that I see value in, if that's okay. So let's go ahead and go down the list. Again, this is me trying to speak a little bit slower. So if you could see this is TECK. This is not one that I see a lot of value in when it comes down to a swing trade, a long-term hold, right? Do you guys see why? It has a previous resistance at $26, as you guys can see right here. It looks like it hit $26 and had a huge pullback. Based on previous trends, this is one that was brought to my attention, I believe, today. And the reason that it was brought to my attention was because of the huge drop that it had from the $25 to $26 all the way down to it was during pre-market hours of $24. If you guys watched today's live stream, a lot of traders were able to trade it based on the VWAP. Again, the VWAP is a very if you guys don't know what it is, I've made a video on it. And the reason that this one was brought up is because when stocks have a huge downward trend, it has a lot of potential for profit. And it looks like it played out that way during pre-market hours. A support was 24. It looks like it had a really nice run to highs of 24.74, 3%. Again, nothing huge, but it comes down to the understanding that after that, it had a huge sell-off and continues to trend down. So why would you want to invest in something that's seen a downward trend? It doesn't make sense, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow up with this one, but once it breaks above the EMA line as a swing trade. So I'm going to look at a 20-day analysis, and if we could see it's way below the EMA line, and therefore I'm not going to force it. I'm going to make sure I let the charts do the talking, and until I see signs of upward momentum for it to, start trading above the EMA line, as it was doing, for a good amount of days, I'm not going to force it. If it doesn't meet that criteria, doesn't ever get there, then I'm simply never going to trade it. Why trade something that I don't see value in or, see potential for growth? It's as simple as that. So IDXG was one that was very commonly talked about today because of the overhype, and it's very common, right? When a lot of people see a lot of demand, for whatever the reason may be, a lot of people like jumping into it, and it saw huge growth. I do want to give a shout out to all our traders that did amazing with it, because it wasn't due to me, but it was due to a good amount of traders within our community that were doing very well. There was one of our members, I do want to give a shout out to him. It was his first trade in locked-in, I believe, like $410 or $425 on his first trade on IDXG. So thank you again for being a part of the team and investing in what you see value in, and not based on someone else's opinion, because this is not something that I would have recommended because I didn't understand it, and that's why I didn't invest in it. And does that mean that I made a mistake? No, it just comes down to seeing what did IDXG do well today that I can work on to later better identify on my next run. And it's as simple as that. It's there's always so much opportunity that's out there. Don't overwhelm yourself just because you missed one. You have years to come. So again, just stick to the basics and invest in what you see value in. JNUG is one that made new highs and continues to make new highs. This is definitely still trending up. So this is a stock or an ETF that I'm going to be calling out that I see it will continue to do well based on its previous trend. If it breaks the trend and breaks below the EMA line, then obviously that's not something that I support. So based on previous trends, it's holding above the EMA line. So a simple way that I would trade this one is looking at a 20-day analysis. I'm going to get a little bit closer. So what I'm going to do is until it breaks below the EMA line, that would be an indicator that it's breaking its trend. So when it broke its trend right here and it had that little pullback, that's when we were able to capitalize on JDST. I'm not too sure if you guys remember that. That's when we had that nice little pump. I was able to lock in profits on JDST, which is the inverse ETF of JNUG. And I don't want to confuse you guys, but then it bounced right back above EMA and it continued to trend up. It's still trending up, and because of all the uncertainty within our economy, I most likely think JNUG, which is a gold-based ETF, will continue to trend up. This is a bull ETF. So it's as simple as that. If I'm going to wait for the pullbacks and the bounces at the EMA, try to buy at the EMA line and continue trading it from there. And they're going to most likely be day trades. It's just because there's so much uncertainty that I don't want these huge shifts to happen all over one day and then for me to have an unfortunate swing trade. So because this is something that's trending right now, it can have a huge fluctuation in price. So that's pretty much it. But I definitely do think that JNUG, because of its trend that it's continuing to see and make new highs, definitely has a lot of value to offer. And if we do a 180-day analysis based on previous trends, right now it just hit $25, which is an old support, and then there's this new margin from $25 to $30. So therefore, if we can continue to trend up, then we can hit $29, $30 as long as the trend continues. So how is it that you know that? Again, you just wait and let the charts do the talking, and you invest based on what you see value in. So if it continues to trend up, then I would make the decision to continue investing in it. And if it breaks the trend, then I'm going to simply stop investing in it. And it's by the EMA line that I'm going off of that. If it breaks below this blue EMA line, then I'll simply cut losses or lock in profits. But if it continues to bounce and hold above it, then I'll continue to invest in it. Let's go ahead and go to M. I called out M last month. And the reason that I called it out was because of the huge drop that it had. It looks like it's making its way back up now. It had a really nice little pump. Not a couple days ago, it hit highs of 22, and it had a little pullback. It's still holding pretty well above around $21, so that's good. But if it continues this upward trend, then this is definitely one that I can see make its way back up to $23, which offers about 9% potential. Understanding that, I usually cut my losses at 1 to 2%. So therefore, this stock, because it's such a high-priced stock, would be something that I would, and investing as long as it continues this upward trend. So BW is one that I do see value in. The only thing that I find a little iffy about this one is that it's approaching the overall resistance from this huge drop that it had. So the overall highs of this specific stock was about $3, and that's why I think it's having so much trouble breaking $3. Today we did end up trading this one, and I did well with my 2-day trades on BW. But unfortunately, not everyone was able to lock in profits right away. Based on the past couple of days, I'm going to do a 10-day analysis. It's been seeing an upward trend from 160 to highs of 293. Didn't necessarily break or hit $3. It's still seen an upward trend except for today. Today was one of the first days, or no, I apologize. After, what was this, like maybe 3 days, it had a nice little pump and then had a really decent pullback. Again, it just seemed to break the trend. It was having a really nice consistent upward trend, and today that was not necessarily the case. It was a red day for BW. So what am I going to do? I'm going to simply let the charts do the talking, and if it can continue seeing an upward trend, so I would day trade this one only, but I do see a lot of potential for BW in making new highs as long as it continues its upward trend. Today could have just been another day where it experienced a little pullback, and then it will give us a little bit more throughout the week. But it's definitely not something that I'm going to force. If it breaks below 260 and continues to hold below 260 and sees a downward trend, then why would I invest in it? But if today was just a fluke and it can continue trending up, then that's all I want. Again, when it peaked out, it hit highs of 260, then it had a pullback. So we can identify 260 as like the overall support. And then $3 as the resistance. So it has a really nice little profit margin, and this is huge. I believe this is like nearly 20%, or I'm sorry, 15%. So I definitely think as day trades, BW does offer a lot of potential as long as it continues its upward trend. And I obviously have been using the VWAP line and the bounces off the golden VWAP. So if you guys were asking me, because I know a lot of you guys were able to benefit off my callouts within the Discord group chat, they were all based off the golden VWAP line. So when it was bouncing and I saw I called out the support at 260 if you guys joined us for the voice channel, and then the bounce on the VWAP. I believe that was like a 5% run. And then again, hit 260. It went a little bit below 260, but then broke above EMA. And then we called out the resistance at 270, which was about 4 to 5%. But then it, again, the purple VWAP line acting as a resistance wasn't able to hold and experience a downward trend. So all we wanted to do is to continue to hold above 260. If we see it continue to trend down, then again, we'll simply leave BW instead of our alerts and not trade it until it's down to what it is that we see value in it. All right, so SQ, let's go a little bit further back on this one. SQ, based on where it's standing right now, I think this is more on the overbought side. So don't want to talk about this one too much. Let me do a 20-day analysis. Yeah, I would find this one to have more potential when it's below $25. Realistically, when it's around 20, it's pretty solid supports, bounces pretty well at 24.50, and then has an overall resistance around 25 to 25.50. I apologize, to $26. So again, understanding supports and understanding understanding resistance, right? So there's this margin of profit that this thing offers, and this is Square, right? Multi-billion-dollar company. All I'm going to do is I'm going to set my alerts, and I'm going to set my alerts, be patient, let the charts do the talking, wait for the validation of the support, and wait for it to break above EMA. And it's having that understanding that I think will truly lead to my success. Overall, resistance at 26.50. So I want to make sure that if it makes new highs, that I am alerted so I can keep the group up to date. And I'm going to simply set my alerts like that. So 26.50, boom, let's go. So it definitely does offer potential, but when it's down here around the $24 to $24.50 mark, and this is one that we've swing traded before, so this should be no surprise. And then the last one that I'm going to be talking about is going to be DGAZ. This is one of my swing trades that I held over the weekend. So if you guys saw my video today on how I made 5% on a swing trade, I left a little bit on the table when it came down to either not locking in profits right away or locking them in too soon after the market opened. But basically on the price point where it was at, when it was at $22 to $23, the reason that I saw the potential was based on previous trends. That's a pretty low point. So therefore, if I manage my risk and I keep my stop loss at about 2% when my potential for profit is much greater, then that's great. So $23 being a support, $24 being somewhat of a resistance, but if it breaks above that, it has a margin from $24.50 to highs of 27. If you guys could see that trend, so it's still trending up. So if it continues to hold and continues to trend up, then this can give us a little bit more about like 10%. So I definitely think that that would be a potential good, day trade. And it does usually do this movement like within 1 day, but just make sure you lock in profits, and that's really just it. So the ones that I've talked about very quickly, so I can recap, is AMD. I'm going to be waiting for the buy anywhere from around $12. I did talk briefly about AKS, but it's not one that I'm very interested in trading. I did talk about TECK, but it's not one that I'm very interested in trading. I did talk about JNUG. This is one that I'm going to be day trading. These are kind of my go-tos when I don't really see value in, all the stocks that are being talked about within our group. Then this is usually either JNUG or JDST are one of the stocks that I either jump into. Obviously, JNUG showing consistent signs of upward momentum is the one that I'm going to go to until it breaks its trend. So, so far it's AMD, JNUG. I do see potential on M because it's been continuing to trend up, and I definitely do think it has more margin for profit. And then BW, if it continues to see an upward trend and then make new highs of $3, then I definitely think that there is a lot of profit for margin, as you guys can see, because it's a huge gap that it's created. And then SQ, and then DGAZ. So those are the stocks that I talked about, the ones I see value in. And someone told me that they wanted me to talk about JDST very briefly because it's been seeing a downward trend. And it's very simple, guys. Again, this is like the inverse ETF of JNUG. Like, yes, it's as you can see based on this 20-day analysis, it's more on the oversold side. So again, it is very undervalued based on where it currently stands. But do you want to be holding this one? Do you want to be back holding this one and waiting for the bounce? That's not something that I want to do. I want to make sure that I can utilize my buying power into taking advantage of opportunity that presents itself now, not hoping for it to present itself, later. So it's a simple understanding that I'm not going to invest in JDST until it breaks above VMA and trends up, until it validates the support and continues to trend up. That might be $40. That might be $42. We'll have to see how this month ends up playing out, but I'm not going to invest in anything until it sees an upward trend, especially as a swing trade. So I want to hear what you guys have to say. Let's see. Alrighty. Alrighty, so Porter's asking if I asked about IDXG. I did end up talking about IDXG. So again, this video will re-upload, so you can simply, if you don't want to watch it right now, you definitely don't have to, but it is going to re-upload, so I'm sure you can re-watch it. Yeah. So they're asking, is this video going to re-upload? Yeah, so it is going to be re-uploaded, and that's really just it. So I don't want to, because those that are watching right now are not going to be catching us live, so I want to make sure that we keep this efficient. So I want to remind you guys, I had a consultation call with one of our members from TECK Solutions today, and it was very interesting. It was a young lady, and she was talking about with her experience of the stock market and stuff like that. And it was an amazing conversation that I had because I could obviously see the drive that she had and where her motivation came from. She had a couple questions about little mistakes that she was making, and it comes down to the understanding that investing in anything, right? The thing that I always encourage you guys is if you guys don't want to be a part of TECK Solutions, that's 100% okay with me. If you guys don't want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, then that's 100% okay with me. All I ask you guys is you guys are watching my video. You guys are watching it for a reason because you guys want something much greater in life than the average individual. There's no question about. Ask you guys is to be knowledgeable in what you're investing in. Don't get jump and this is something that we do. And again, I have 42,000 members within my community. We're about to hit 50,000 subscribers, so I can't it's a true blessing to be in the position where I am today. And something that I do, just like a lot of people do, but other people do it a little bit more excessively, is we talk about the people that see success within our group. And I tried to talk about the people that see success in our group, not only when it comes to trading, but the overall mindset and how I've been able to assist them in that. And all I want you guys to know is I don't want you guys to be misled or misguided by any individual. I mean, we provide you guys the service for free. And I hope that you guys can take advantage of it if you guys see value in it. But most importantly, like when it comes down to investing in anything, like knowledge is key. And I can't stress that enough on how important that is. You have to understand what you're investing in. And if you got lucky because you day traded today, or you got lucky because you've been day trading for the past 2 weeks and you've had a couple lucky trades, I can promise you this is not a market that you get lucky in. Like, you have to really understand what it is that you're investing in. And one of the most important things that I can suggest is the importance of risk management. Always investing, or at least in my experience, I always try to invest in stocks that have a higher profit for risk ratio, meaning that for every 5% of profit, I'm willing to risk 1%. It's something that really helps me and builds my confidence. So when I'm taking a position like I did on DGAZ, I knew that my potential for loss was about 1 to 2%, when my potential for profit was about 5 to 10%, depending on how it played out over the weekend. Therefore, that risk was worth taking for me. So if all of a sudden it took a huge dip and it went below $22, then I simply would have cut my losses and would have, called it a day. But a lot of people bag hold a stock, break the rules, do not cut losses because they get emotionally attached to what it is that they're investing in. I can't stress that enough. If you can't be disciplined and you don't understand what you're investing in, then please do simulation trading or do paper trading, something with no monetary risk, and practice everything it is that you're learning from there, because I can't stress that enough and how important that is. I'm really here to help you and guide you guys in the right direction, but I'm not here to spoon feed you. I don't want you guys to mimic my trades nor anyone else's, because that's never truly going to lead to your success. Yes, you might learn a little bit from that, but when you're really implementing what it is that you learned into actual investing in multiple markets, in real estate, and buying and reselling products and investing in stocks, regardless of what type of entrepreneur or investor you want to be, if you really want to be an entrepreneur or you really want to be an investor, then dedicate the time into the market that you want to be successful and be driven by your passion and be driven by the knowledge that is going to guide you there. Because how you expect to be, a lot of people reach out to me and ask me oh, I'm sorry, I just read one of the comments in the live stream. I was a little bit confused. But man, I lost my train of thought. Dang it, that was your fault. What was it? Ben, no, just kidding. It's not your fault. I got a little thrown off. But realistically, guys, all I want you guys to do is to achieve success within your own means, right? You might not achieve enormous amount of success because of what you're given in your current position in life, but I can promise you that if you're driven by your passion and you're truly, motivated to make a difference in your life for, those that are to come, like your family and your future kids, then really dedicate time and being the most knowledgeable in what it is that you're investing in. If it comes down to your profession, if it comes down to your work, if it comes down to real estate, investing in stocks, regardless of what it is, you will always see success if you dedicate time to it. It might take longer than others. It's unfortunate. Sometimes there's some form of luck, but I can promise you guys that those that are asking me that, because I've had a GTR before, and they're like, hey, I want a GTR. I'm willing to work day and night to do whatever it is that you do so I can buy a GTR. That's not how it works, guys. I'm not here to spoon feed you. I'm here to talk about what has led to my success, and it's this video that I watched by Warren Buffett. And I swear, guys, everyone asks me, who is it that's my role model? Who is it that I follow? I really don't follow anyone, because all I try to do is I take different, best practices or, traits from other people that I think are successful or that I like, and I tweak it and make it mine, because it's something that I see value in. So something that he said is, it's not about mimicking, and this isn't word for word, but it's not about mimicking people's success and hoping that the same will happen to you. Because if you mimic my success and you want a McLaren, or you want a Z06, or you want multiple investment properties by age 22, I can promise you, even if you start at the age where I started at age 14, you're not going to see the same form of success. You might see it quicker, or you might see it completely different, or you might not see it at all. Why? Because opportunity presents itself in that current state, and it's taking advantage of the opportunity at that minute and at that moment that will guide you into a completely different life. If I didn't take certain advantage of opportunities within certain points of my life, I would not be in this exact moment if it wasn't for this. If I didn't start YouTubing, I would not have nearly 50,000 subscribers. I wouldn't have such an amazing community that really motivates me and continues to be what drives me, other than my girlfriend, right? She always makes me say that, but it's true. Just know that, guys, no one can truly spoon feed you and lead you to your success. This is what he said. This is by Warren Buffett, right? He said, whoever it is that you work with, or whoever it is that you admire. This is two types of perspective. And I was going to make a different video on this, but I hope this video doesn't end up being too long. But I'm going to try to make it quick. But what it came down to was, think about the people that you admire the most, people that people that you admire the most, and the people that you want to be most alike, and then write it down on paper on what it is that you like most about them and their qualities that they have that you admire. And then now think about an individual that you don't like, and what is it that you don't like about them, and then write them down. look at the piece of paper and study what it is that you want. You know, study what it is, study what it is that those people have that you want. And again, these are traits, these are qualities, these are some things that we can change of ourselves, right? Therefore, if this person is attractive, or this person is attractive because of the success he's achieved, and he has some type of trait or something like that that has led to his success, then write that down and work on, you know, being able to have that specific trait. And then if you see there's certain traits that an individual has that is unattractive and that you see yourself have, then obviously other people are going to be able to, you know, perceive it the same way. Therefore, work on those qualities to no longer have them and be more like the people that you love. And again, it comes down to the understanding that you will become who it is that you want to be, because, you know, it's someone that you admire. So you're almost like replicating yourself, but in a way that it's, you know, uniquely still you, because you're not following them step by step. You're just taking their traits and their best practices that have led to their success or that make them attractive, and you're converting them into yourself. Don't worry about every single trade that I'm taking place on. Don't worry about every single car that I'm buying, every single investment property. Think about what it is that you like about me, or what you like about people that you admire, and write them down on a piece of paper and see if those are qualities that you have yourself. But in comparison, kind of compare them in like, you know, areas of opportunity that you have in your life, and how you can, you know, add the qualities that you like about myself or people that you admire and implementing them into your life. It's a very simple concept, but I think it can take you guys a long way. I want you guys to truly succeed. And again, I was going to make this another video, but what it came down to is I was having a conversation with one of our members within the TECK Solutions Discord app. And he was like, hey, Ricky, thank you for your tip on BW. Or it was, yeah, I think it was BW. He made like $233 with his account, and he had like $17,000. And I was like, hey, if you can end up closing the month at 10% profit, I'll fly out and I'll meet you, and I'd love to spend the day with you. And this is something that I want to do with each and every one of you. But unfortunately, because there's so many of you, I would be flying day and night. So what it comes down to is some challenge that I want to have, and I want to hear your guys' feedback, is that I really want to stress the importance of consistency and consistent profit, keeping losses small and consistent profit. It's not something that people find very attractive, because it's not something that leads to overall like super quick growth, because people talk about, hey, look, make 20% here, make 30% here, and stuff like that. But realistically, those are difficult opportunities to find. Therefore, focusing more on consistent profit in a more realistic scale is something that I want you guys to understand. Therefore, what I want you guys to make sense of, and this is a video that I'll probably follow up with, was if you guys can end, this is probably a challenge that I'm going to have, is if you guys can end the month at 10% to 20% profit overall, I'll end up flying out, and then I'll meet you individually, and I'd love to spend the day with you. I want you guys to know the importance of locking in profits and keeping your profits consistent, keeping losses small and consistent growth, because I really think that's what leads to people's success. I want to get the idea of people aiming for, you know, just like unrealistic goals, and making sure that we're focusing on something that's realistic. And as we continue to grow, and as we continue to scale out as more advanced investors, as our members are, then we can start to increase that percentage. But realistically, I think 10% within a month is huge, and I'd love you guys to set that as your goal. And those that achieve it, I'd love to be able to spend the day with you. And it's as simple as that. So, you know, it's not going to get you, especially if you have a $1,000 account, that's only $100 within a month, but it's about consistent growth and understanding the importance of that. Because if you can lock in 10%, you know, now with a $1,000 account, just imagine when you have $100,000 and can lock in 10% within 1 month. You know, now we're talking about 10% of 100,000, that's $10,000. That's huge, $120,000 a year. It's about the small idea and how it can scale out in the big picture. And that's what I want you guys to understand. I'm not here to promote a get-rich-quick scheme. I'm not here to tell you guys that penny stock or trading low-cap stocks has gotten me here, because that's definitely not the case. I talk about, you know, the importance of having a normal job, investing in different markets, and being knowledgeable in everything it is that you invest in, and being driven by your passion. That's what has led to my success, not just investing in stocks, multiple different markets. It's because I'm driven and I'm passionate about what it is that I do. And it's all because of you guys. So I thank you for that. I want you guys to continue working hard, continue following your dreams, and be driven truly by your passion. If you guys are asking about the TECK apparel, which are the t-shirts, we do have a limited quantity available. It's the third link in the description. We love you guys to pre-order them, and then we will ship them. If you guys don't like, or, you know, don't want to buy a t-shirt, then simply let me know in the comments. why it is that you don't like them. Again, I love feedback, and I want to see why it is that the value isn't there for you. And it's as simple as that. Let me know. If you guys want to be part of the Tech Solutions beta trial, which, you know, a little bird told me that it's going to be very soon, then again, that's the second link in the description. And if you guys can donate to the cause that we're having for Hurricane Harvey and all those members within our group that were unfortunately devastated by Hurricane Harvey, that's the first link in the description. And again, the group, the link all the way down below, the free Facebook group, that's our group of 42,000 members. So we'd love to have you as a part of our community. But it's as simple as that. So I will be keeping you guys up to date on what it is that we're going to be doing with the Hurricane Harvey and me flying out and reaching out to those members and then working with them to help rebuild. So thank you guys all for your donation. If you guys can even donate $1, whatever it is, you know, we'd really appreciate it. If you guys can't, then simply don't. You know, we don't want to put you guys in a bad situation, and I hope you guys know that. So if you guys want to reach out to me, my email is info@techsolutions.com. The best way to do it is just to know that I never put out my email in the comments. So there's people that have been pretending to be me, so understand that that is not me. The email is provided for you on my About section for my YouTube channel, and it has my email right there for you. So thank you guys again. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams, be driven by your passion, and understand the importance of risk management and knowledge in the market that you're investing in. And like always, guys, let's make sure that we're in the year on Reno. If you guys didn't watch yesterday's video, it's my girlfriend driving my Z06, and people thought it was very funny. I thought it was very funny. It was very stressful. Hope you guys enjoy. Take care, team.